Hey, so I'm heading down to the water for another fishing adventure, but I wanted to sort of give you a quick heads up on today's video. It's broken into two parts, and so on day 2 is when I use the Aldebaran, and if that's what you're really interested in, because a lot of people are right now, there are chapters down below, and you can just click on the sections that you want. Otherwise, appreciate you watching the whole thing. See ya. Hey there, it's Plan B time. As typically happens in the spring, we've had all kinds of rain the last 24 hours, so the creeks will get to the point where you can fish them for a few days, and then you get a bad day of rain and you can't for a few days. So today, Plan B is heading to my local lake, and we're gonna see if any bass are feeding yet. Last time I was here was about a month ago. There was still some ice around the edges, and it was brutally cold and no activity. There are some big fish in this lake. I've never caught them, but we're gonna go out and give it a try today. Okay, so this is the deep end of the lake. It's about 27 to 30 feet deep out here in the middle. And it's got all this riprap. This is the dam. The water's still pretty cold, so I think this is gonna be the place to start. I'm gonna start down on this end and work with the wind, basically. So I know this rod is rated for up to 10 grams. This is probably right about where I'm throwing. But it does not feel quite as capable with the slightly larger baits as the Benke. This is the Kuying Teton. Okay, switch to the 13 fishing crankbait here. Ties to about 7 feet. Okay, I switched to the Megabass Z2. It's a 1/4 ounce. I think it dives like 1 to 4 feet. So I tell you what, this thing has a ton of action too. So how about we stay with Megabass, but we go with the Dark Sleeper. There we go. There's the first one. There's the first one. He's not big, but definitely the first one. He's still nice and cold. So, hey, Dark Sleeper. Fish number 1. See you, buddy. He was up pretty shallow. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about. I've got some of the Nikko leeches in that chartreuse color that I'd planned to fish in the creek, but I'm actually wondering if they may not be really good out here. I mean, I can always go back to 2:27. I've been here about 45 minutes. I got about another hour and a half. So I could try out the leech just to see if the color is the thing. And maybe pull some fish from deeper. Hey, not to match it with glasses, but how's it look? That might have been a rock, but it had a little bit of vibration to it like a fish. Okay. So we're going to say that it's not the chartreuse. So in that case, it must have been. I mean, look how, I don't know if you can see how beat up that's gotten from banging on the rocks down there. Wow. I don't know if you can see up in the sky, he's not going to good. That was like an osprey or something. Sort of unusual for this area. I don't know, there's something ironic about a sign that says no swimming anytime, and then there's a rope swing hanging above the water. Moved over to the north side of the lake. There's a lot of trees down, but this should be water that warms up a little bit faster. Very shallow here. Hey duckies. Yeah, I'm just fishing. You're fine. Come on. Now, dadgummit, you shouldn't get caught in there. That pisses me off. Well, that was just an utter mess. Utter and complete mess. Holy hell. Well, I got caught on a limb down here. I may have to get the glasses to get this one out. Oh, here we go. We got it. You had to have seen that on the video. Little guy. And I mean, yeah, he was little, but when the fishing's been this tough, it's almost like, you know, you'll take anything. There we go. That worked out well. Oh, damn. Oh, come on. There we go. What the hell? Ooh. Did you see that? They are way up shallow. Way up shallow. And I don't know if I can get to them over there, but don't know if that was a frog or if it was a fish. I'm looking for anything up super shallow here. That's a bluegill. I see a bluegill right there. Don't know where he went. I had a leaf all over me, so I wasn't able to do anything about it. There's a little bass. Like real little bass. I mean, tiny bass. Don't know where he went. Tiny little bass. That must have been what I saw earlier. Come on. You know how this stuff gets so stuck on trees, but yet almost every fish I hook gets off. It's a little aggravating. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. One tiny little branch down here. Landed one, hooked 3 others, and I had a lot of fun playing around with this rod. It doesn't do really lightweight baits well, but here at the end of the day, I learned that down on this side of the lake, there's a lot of good small fish, and so I'm going to bring one of my smaller rods out here real soon. We're going to see if we can't hook into some of these guys. Man, I just saw like 6 or 7, 8 to 12 inch bass down there, but there's a ton of fish piled up on this side of the lake. I think I've been fishing the wrong side of the lake for a couple of springs now. Okay, so it is the next day. It's about 20 degrees colder. There's no sun. It's windier. There is a front coming through, but I just couldn't stop thinking about the fact that I found all the fish right as I was finishing up yesterday. So I wanted to give it a try, and brought the Aldebaran with me, and so we're going to dial it in and see if we can't catch some fish. Okay, so I came back down here to the spillway, down here in this corner where I had most of the action yesterday, and we're going to give the new Aldebaran a go. It's left-handed. See if we can get it so you can actually see it there. And I'm starting with a Z-Man micro chatterbait, and I just want to cast with a little bit of weight just to get it dialed in. Then we're going to jump right to a trout magnet and see if we can't go pester some of the fish on the other side of the lake that I saw on the way out yesterday. With the Aldebaran, I basically have it set sort of like a little bit like a traditional reel, where I'm basically set the spool tension based on the fall rate, but I have it a little fast, and we're just going to see what we can do. And I'm just going to take a few casts. This lure is probably close to the end of the range of this rod. So let's see what happens here. I threw it out there nice, and I was real cautious on that one. Now I also have the brakes set probably sort of high. I think I have it around 3 or 4. Yeah, it's up around 4, so we're going to drop that down to, I think that's now like 2.5. Drop it down to 2.5, see what happens. Ooh, well, that's what happens. Granted, this is a stream rod. This is not a rod that's really built for long distance casting. I'll tell you what, this reel is so smooth. So I'm going to try to take this down 1 click. One click on this reel makes a huge difference. It's not like a lot of the other ones that I've been using. Okay, this is around where I started seeing them yesterday. Got the trout magnet on. Ooh. Instantly. It actually sort of shocked me. Oop. And I had a little backlash there. Yeah, I've been throwing those heavier lures for yeah, really about a couple weeks, and I got to remember to be nice and slow with this one. I have to figure out why that is. Oh, this is moving. Oh, look at that! It's so light that the wind is just blowing it right back into shore. Well, there we go. We tightened the spool tension up just a little bit. Oh, come on. I am a little into the wind too. Yeah, I'm definitely still getting overruns here. It's sort of funny that the very first cast over here. So I'm gonna switch to the Nikko Waxworm. I don't know that it's any heavier, but it's white, so we'll see if we can't find something here. This Nikko Waxworm feels just like putting a live worm on the hook. I tell you what, between putting the waxworm on there and the wind dying down, this is actually getting out there. I think the first fish taught us what to expect. Throw it out there, they should hit it immediately, and if they don't, maybe they're not going to hit it. Well, that was not where I was trying to put it. Doesn't mean it wasn't good though. Okay, well the fish are definitely still over here. Granted, he's not big, but ooh, so he's been injured before too. I didn't get a chance to show you, but so these little guys are up shallow for sure. Okay, so far this is working out okay. This Nikko Waxworm, they seem to really go after it. Okay, I don't want to fall in the water, partly because I don't want to get wet on this cold day, and partly because I don't want to scare the fish away. But there we go. We got something. Ooh, you know, he's not bad. I'm actually wondering how am I going to get him up here? Ooh. Oh man, he is fat too. This one is eating well. Look how fat that guy is. Oh, here, you can't see him right now. Look how fat that guy is. Look at that. Okay. Okay, I think I've at least proven a point today, which is, you know, the Aldebaran, it really, I mean, it's going to be deadly in these little small areas. I just have to get better. I mean, it's, you know, I get so many snags, it was crazy. But it definitely has the ability to cast. I think that trout magnet was 1/80th of an ounce. There's just a ton of snags here. I got to think about how I want to fish it to try to, you know, prevent some of the snags. But yeah, this reel actually handles lightweight lures really well. And once I get it dialed in, I think it'll do a lot better. I got to do a little bit of research and playing around to figure out, you know, what's going on. But it feels like the spool tension, very sensitive when you get down below 1 gram. So, you know, but, you know, it allowed me to catch a couple other fish fairly quickly. I mean, you know, I probably caught those in less than 20 minutes, and a lot of that's screwing around trying to figure out how to cast. I'm really looking forward to using the Aldebaran a lot more. We'll get it out on a trout stream sometime soon. But that'll wrap up this video. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.